Thank you for joining me. Now, I'd like to tell you all a story that happened a long time ago, back when I was a newbie Minecraft YouTuber. Back in the day. Was it 1.18? 1.19? I forget. It's been so long. So yeah, I had started a fresh new world, and I spawned right on a village. So I was really fortunate, and I spent the first few minutes on the game looting the village. Some time passed, and before long, I had a house, a farm, a dog, and a full suit of iron armor. Oh, I can't forget the day that I mined a beehive and set a bee on myself. That was hilarious. I remember this one day especially, when I had been down mining and I found myself amethysite. At first, I thought nothing of it, so I added it to my collection. I was more focused on all of the iron I'd been finding. But then, one day, I learned about a recipe to make a spyglass. This thing was awesome. I could see way further into the distance. I'd never looked this far. I got tired of looking out of my window, and soon I went out exploring, looking for things to look at with the spyglass. It was then that I saw it, a creature I had never laid eyes on before. It seemed hostile, but I went in for a closer look. It stuck me with an arrow. I couldn't believe it. I had to kill it. Being a peaceful fellow, I didn't enjoy killing it. It left me no choice, and I'm not vengeful. But this day in particular, I was full of hatred. I asked around in a nearby village, and they had heard of these same creatures. They pointed me in the direction to find more of them. That's when I found their outpost. I built a treehouse nearby and waited until it was dark out. Then I made my way across by building a bridge out of dirt. I got over the top of the tower. Then I jumped in. I had TNT to hand. And I placed my TNT all over the top of their tower. It didn't take long, and I moved undetected. Then I let her rip, and I fled the scene. I ran the whole way home, and I had so many fights along the way. But this is where things got really interesting. I woke up to find my house on fire. The flames were everywhere. One of the creatures had followed me home and set my house on fire. I found him and then set my dog on him. But during the attack, my dog got badly hurt. I tried to pat the flames away, but I punched him to his death. Before I could think, I was being chased away by more of the creatures. "10 years had passed, and I had barely thought about the incidences that had taken place. I still remember the day because I had just finished off enchanting my diamond armor. I had gone out exploring in search of a village. I can still remember the day as if it was only yesterday. I killed a golem for iron, and it was then that I realized there were pillagers in the village, raiding the village. They set their sights on me, and then there was tension. The fight was about to erupt. I mentally prepared myself. I couldn't believe they were here. After all of this time, I took the first two out with ease, holding my shield and deflecting any arrow they sent at me. Then I cast my pearl across the village to the far side. I found two more, and we began to fight. I saw a Vindicator, the same creature that had chased me away from my home. I didn't let in. I killed that Vindicator. Then I saw it, for the first ever time, a Ravager. They chased me around the village, and for a minute things were looking bleak. But I was lucky because I found a totem of undying on the ground. I had just managed to toss a pearl before a Vindicator hit me with his axe and killed me. But, fortunately, because I had the Totem of Undying, I didn't die. There I was, single-handedly taking down a whole pack of Pillagers and Vindicators. There was just the Ravager. I didn't know what to do against the Ravager. I decided to climb high. But I'm telling you, that thing got close to climbing up onto the roof. I had done it. I had killed the Ravager. I was so proud of myself. That thing was a beast. A literal beast. I made my way home. And once I got home, I conjured a plan. A great plan. A plan of full revenge. I set back out onto the road with one thing in mind: tracking down another pillager outpost. This time, I would go all in. I was angry. These malicious, hateful, spiteful, greedy little minions had to pay the price. But I had underestimated their power. They were way too strong. I was totally outnumbered. I needed help. That's when I found a golem in a cage. I decided to bust him out. By busting him out, I would have help. And that was my only option. It didn't matter that they were firing arrow after arrow at me. The pillagers fell into the water, and I had only one option. I had to go into the water to fight them. But the water was not a good place to fight. I was totally outnumbered. Even with the help of the golem, I had to flee. It was too much. Once I got home, I started to prep. I had another plan. A different plan, an even better plan, but it would take some really special, hardcore equipment. Now, I've got a little confession to make. I had been keeping a villager held hostage. I had been torturing him to get all of the information that I had about pillagers and vindicators and even the evoker. He had had enough, and he refused to show me the map. He refused to help me on my mission to find the Woodland Mansion. So I forced it by pressing, and then once he finally gave in, I had no other option. It was time to kill him. I didn't feel good about what I had done to that villager. A different side of me had come over. Ever since I had lost my dog years before, I was a different person. I mean, hell, I'm completely different nowadays, but back then, I was full of spite. I had found it. the famous Woodland Mansion. I had heard so much about it from that one villager. I climbed up to the top of the building, knowing that that is where the evokers hung out. In my mind back then, I pictured the evokers as the big bad wolves, the ones at the top. I was inside of the Woodland Mansion. I knew that things were about to become crazy. The evoker appeared and summoned its vexes. I had heard about vexes, and trust me, they are not pleasant creatures. I had totally underestimated the Woodland Mansion and the foes that existed within it. They beat me back and back, and there really wasn't much I could do. The evoker summoned a really weird attack where spikes would come out of the ground, and I was inches from death. I did have one more trick up my sleeve, and that was a golem. I had brought the ingredients with me to make my own golem. He just strided through the spiky attack from the evoker and walked straight up to him and destroyed him. Now, nothing stood between me and my revenge. Burning down their base, their headquarters. It was the ultimate revenge for what they had done to my home and my dog. I've never forgot about that dog.